Okay, so you look out your window and your pumpkin patch is, well, it's a jungle out there, right? You've got these gorgeous, lush vines, massive leaves, and these beautiful, bright orange flowers everywhere. It looks like the picture of health. But where are the pumpkins? It is, without a doubt, one of the most maddening mysteries for any gardener.
And that's the big question, isn't it? You feel like you've done everything right. You've got the sun, the water, the good soil, and your reward is this sea of green. So what's the deal? Where are the actual pumpkins hiding? Well, the good news is the answer is usually a lot simpler than you think. Let's dig in and solve this thing together.
All right, so our investigation is going to start with the most obvious clue we have, the flowers themselves. Seriously, the whole secret to why you have no pumpkins is hiding right inside these blossoms. So understanding how they work is absolutely the first step to cracking this case.
So here's the thing about pumpkin plants. They're a little complicated. They have two completely different kinds of flowers, male flowers and female flowers. The male flowers, they're the first to show up to the party. They grow in these long, skinny stems, and their one and only job is to make pollen. The female flowers, those are the ones that actually turn into pumpkins. They tend to show up a bit later.
And this picture shows the difference perfectly. See that little round green ball at the base of the flower on the right? That's it. That's a tiny baby pumpkin. It's called the ovary. That's how you know you've got a female flower. Now look at the one on the left. Just a plain old skinny stem, right? That's the male. So if you're only seeing male flowers early in the season, don't panic. That is completely normal. You just have to be patient and wait for the females to make their entrance. It really all boils down to this simple little piece of garden wisdom. That powdery pollen from the male flower has to physically get to the inside of the female flower. If those two never meet, that little baby pumpkin at the base of the female flower just gives up, shrivels, and falls right off. No connection means no pumpkin. It's that simple. Which, of course, brings us to the next part of our investigation, pollination. Now, usually, nature has this covered. But what happens when that critical link goes missing? Well, this is often the #1 suspect behind a pumpkinless patch. So who are our little pollen delivery guys? Bees. That's right, honeybees, bumblebees, squash bees. They are the absolute workhorses of your garden. But, they face a lot of challenges these days. Things like pesticide use in the area or loss of their natural habitat. Even just a stretch of bad weather can make a huge difference. If it's too rainy or way too hot, the bees might just stay home, and they miss that really small window in the morning when the pumpkin flowers are actually open. But hey, if the bees are taking a day off, it's time for you to play matchmaker. And I promise it's super easy to do it yourself. Just get out there early in the morning, definitely before 10 a.m., while all the flowers are wide open. Find a male flower, grab a little bit of that yellow pollen with a small paintbrush, or you can even just pick the male flower itself, and gently dab that pollen onto the sticky center part of an open female flower. Do that for every female flower you find, and boom, you've just basically guaranteed yourself a pumpkin. Okay, but what if you have both male and female flowers, and you're pretty sure the bees are around, but you're still not getting any fruit? Well, now we have to start looking for accomplices, other factors that can be sabotaging your harvest. And the two biggest culprits are almost always weather and nutrition. Pumpkins can be a little picky about the weather. If it gets too hot, we're talking over 90 degrees Fahrenheit, the pollen can actually become sterile and just not work. A sudden cold snap can stop the female flowers from even developing. And of course, too much water or not enough water will stress the plant out and it'll just drop its flowers to try and save energy. And now, let's talk about the inside job, nutrition. What you're feeding your pumpkin plants and when you feed it to them is absolutely critical. See, early in the season, the plant is all about growing those big vines, so it needs nitrogen. But once it starts to flower, you've got to switch gears. You need to back off the nitrogen and start giving it more phosphorus and potassium, which help it make fruit. And here it is, maybe the #1 mistake that well-meaning gardeners make. Whatever you do, do not use your lawn fertilizer on your pumpkin patch. It is packed with nitrogen. And sure, you'll get the most amazing, green, lush vines you've ever seen, but the plant is putting all of its energy into making leaves, not fruit. You've got to remember, wrong food, no fruit. So, we've identified all the suspects. We've talked about the flowers, the pollinators, the weather, the nutrition. Now it's time to pull all these clues together into one simple, powerful action plan that's going to make sure you get the harvest you've been working for. And this right here, this is your secret weapon. This checklist is your whole case file. Next time you're standing there staring at your vines, wondering what's going on, just walk through this list. First, are you seeing female flowers yet? If not, just be patient. Second, do you see bees buzzing around? If not, it's time to grab your paintbrush. How's the weather been? Is the soil soggy or bone dry? And finally, what have you been feeding them? Check that fertilizer bag. This simple process of elimination will help you figure it out every single time. You know, in the end, growing pumpkins kind of teaches a bigger lesson. You can't really force it. Getting fruit takes the right timing, the right connections, and the right kind of care. So take a look at your garden. Is it asking you for a little more patience, or does it need a helping hand? Either way, trust the process. You've totally got this.